Hey guys, this is Brent with Western Equipment. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a quick how-to on leveling the deck on a 2020 John Deere S240 mower. This mower is equipped with the 48-inch XL deep deck, so let's jump right on in and get started. So before we get started, guys, a couple of things you're going to want to have around. First off is going to be your operator manual. There is step-by-step instructions in here. For today's video purposes, we are going to be going off of method 2 there. And what that's going to consist of is using a deck leveling gauge, which we have here, and your 15mm wrench to make those adjustments. So now let's go ahead and get underneath the deck and get started. A couple of things we're going to want to do before we take our first measurement. For one, we're going to make sure our tire pressure is correct all the way around and up to spec. On this mower here, you're going to want 10 PSI in the rears, 14 in the front. That way you're up to spec according to your operator manual. Next thing you might want to do is find a way to keep this shroud up and out of the way. I've just got some zip ties here holding it up. And third thing is we're going to want to pick the height that we're going to measure at. Cutting height wise, so for this particular video we picked 3 inches, so we do have the deck height set at 3. Next thing you're going to do, guys, make sure you can get your blade to where it is pointing out of the deck to where it's fully exposed to where you can get a measurement. You're going to do the same thing on the other side, except it's going to be a little more difficult as you're going to have to reach underneath the deck and physically move that blade to where it's pointing outside. It's going to be a little harder to see. But you can do it. I mean, this gauge is made to go up and underneath. So let's go ahead and get our first measurement here. How you're going to do that is put the gauge on the ground and slowly raise the tip of that up to where it touches the bottom of that blade tip. Then we'll go ahead and look here at our measurement. Looks like we are right in between 2 3/4 and 2 5/8. So we do still have to go up some. How we're going to do that, guys, is we have this adjusting rod right back here with this nut on the bottom. And what you're going to do is just take your 15mm wrench and adjust that nut on the bottom to raise it up or down. So to go up, we're going to turn it clockwise. To go down, we're going to turn it counterclockwise. So as we saw there, you know, we're in between 2 3/4, 2 5/8. We're going to have to raise this up. So I'm going to go in here, start turning this nut clockwise. And this is just going to slowly raise the back of this deck, the side of this deck. We'll make a few turns there and go ahead and take your measurement again. Looks like now, guys, we are just right there, almost at 3. You could pretty much say we're at 3. A good rule of thumb here is that on these, guys, you can be within 1/8 of an inch. You just want to make sure that you're consistent from side to side. So now here that we're almost at 3, we'll go to the other side and do the same thing. So over on this side, like we talked about, this side's a little harder to get to since you don't have the opening over here. So we'll reach underneath, make sure you can get our blade lined up here to where it's pointing straight out. Now, good rule of thumb is try to get that lined up as close to this weld mark as you can. That way you have a point of reference when going in with your gauge to find that measurement. So I think we've got that about right. So we'll go underneath here. Take our first measurement, and not as bad as I thought, guys. We're kind of right there at 2 3/4. So we're going to make just a little bit of an adjustment here. Remember, clockwise for up, counterclockwise for down. So we are going clockwise here. All right, so let's check that now. Back underneath here. Okay, we are about right at 2 7/8, guys. So remember that rule of thumb being within 1/8 of an inch. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go set the camera in front of the tractor. I'll probably make some passes back and forth, checking this, making sure we get it level. And then from there, we will level it from front to rear. So now what we're going to do is check our level from front to rear. Now, first thing you want to do is get that blade positioned here where it is pointing front to rear. Now, when you're checking this, guys, it's not going to be even like it would be from side to side. You're not going to want 3 and 3. You actually want this front edge to be either 1/4 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch lower. The reason being is what that does is that eliminates what we call double cutting. Double cutting is bad for your grass. So by having this front edge lower, you're eliminating that. So first thing we'll do here is we'll take our measurement of the front. And as we see here, we're at about 2 3/4. So right now, guys, that measurement's good. As like I said, you want to be between 1/4 and 1/8 of an inch lower in the front. So let's just make sure that that corresponds here in the rear. And right there, yeah, we do show to be higher than 3. So that's good. Like I said, we want that to be lower. You're worried about this front tip being, like I said, 1/4 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch lower, than your side measurement here. So we are right there. We're at 2 3/4. Now what you're going to want to do is check the other side. Just make sure that it corresponds. But let's say that we did need to adjust this either up and down. Where that's going to be made is in the front. So we'll move around to the front there and show you where that adjustment's made. So right here underneath the front of the mower, this is where that front to rear adjustment is going to be made. It's just going to simply be that 15mm wrench on that nut, and then turning it either clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on whether you need to raise or lower. So just like on the sides, guys, if you need to raise it, you're going to turn that clockwise to raise it, or then counterclockwise to lower it. So that's simple, guys. All right, guys, so there you have it. That was leveling a deck, 48-inch deck on the 2020 John Deere S240. I hope that in this video you guys have seen everything you need to see. If not, if I left anything out, make sure to leave me comments in the comments section below. Also, guys, I know you saw a couple things I was working with, mainly that deck leveling gauge. If that's something you're in need of, make sure to check the link in the description below also for our website of west-equip.com/parts, where you can go to get that gauge directly from me. So guys, if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe as well. And just like as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Can you see that back there? Oh.